What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a super late night edition because I had to get everything updated edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video. It goes a long way for you. That way you become a president of our great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Here on the video yesterday, 2-1, ended up getting Dawson Knox at plus money, plus 120 over 2.5 receptions. That was useful in the NFL streets. In the NBA streets, obviously we combined the videos there on Monday and Thursday. Yeah, we went 1-1 here on this video. And Andre Drummond, we got tons of CLV in the premium Discord. He didn't come to fruition, but I think I was a little bit more disturbed from the day before. Went 1-2, and somebody just decided SF9er YB4 or 4B. What are we doing here? I ended up liking it because fuck you, but also your picks were absolute trash. I went 1-2, and Chicago decided to just blow a 19-point lead in the last 9 minutes of that game. Didn't cover. They, of course, hit a game winner because that's the way the world works. But my whole point here is that I'm working like crazy, and I don't have to record as late as what I do purely because, I mean, I could probably find a player or two, be like, hey, I'll update everything, jump in the premium Discord, yada, yada, yada. But I waited for as many props to drop as possible. It is 1 a.m. on the East Coast, 10 p.m. on the West Coast. I care about making money for myself, and I care about making money for you when it comes to the betting. And so, yeah, I appreciate people who want to have strong opinions. And again, I'll like that comment because fuck you. But also, let's be respectful and understand that, I am out here grinding. Again, you could call me soft, you could do whatever, but that one just irked me purely because it's been a profitable week ever so slightly on this video. It's been actually down a little bit over the course of this week in the premium Discord. If you throw out Pick'em has been up a little bit, ended up a unit up today, hit the Pick 6 card that is here on the Odd Chopper YouTube Shorts as well as on this Stochastic YouTube Shorts. So hopefully you're checking that out. But yeah, just bothered me a little bit because some people don't have respect and you should learn some fucking respect. But anywho, we got ourselves the Tails app. Download the Tails app. That's good stuff. As well as Tails. Be like Lindy, join Tails today. We got ourselves 9 games NBA Cup season. Let's get to it. Accidentally turned off my mic. Maybe I do so. Hang on. Now it's back on my actual mic. Also, this background music, it's a little loud for me today. There we go. Now we're set. I'm ready to break down some basketball here way late, early in the morning as you're listening to it on the East Coast and on the West Coast. Probably catch it before midnight if you want to here. Indy taking on Cleveland, and I'm excited to watch this basketball game purely because it's two teams that don't really like each other, even though it's a 13.5-point spread, and it's not like Tyrese Halliburton or Obi Toppin are in this game, two guys that, were pretty important to that Aaron Nesmith as well last year. Those three guys being out in this spot, it makes it a little less appealing, I suppose, but Jared Allen and Darius Garland both questionable. If I knew they were playing, if I knew they were automatically playing, I would want to be in on 13.5, but it's kind of a stupid thing to say sometimes because it's like, we'll get the shoot around news and you're able to jump on the number if you can, and then you'll get some CLV, but I have no lean on that whatsoever right now. It's a finger strain for Jared Allen. That's what it says on the NBA injury report, which again, NBA injury report, enter. Pull that up on the Google machine. Google, as it's known to others. But anyway, Cleveland minus 13.5. I do think it's the more appealing side here. 238.5 is where I've got this total at. 237.5 is where it opens. So there's nothing to mine out of that one. It's basically going to be the spread or pass, or if you're able to jump on some numbers for Evan Mobley rebounds. That one's going to look pretty darn good too if you end up sliding Evan Mobley up to the 5, Dean Wade down, things of that nature. Thomas Bryant, I doubt, plays a ton in that kind of capacity, but can knock down some open shots. And obviously he played for Indy last year, which makes it a little revenge narrative if he does get a couple of minutes here and there, but I doubt there's any props that open for him. Boston taking on Brooklyn at home. Now they just flipped around, flip, Philadelphia. They just played in Brooklyn. Now they're playing in Boston, and 15.5. They didn't even shoot the ball all that well, and then they went completely nuts. Now, Igor Damen, it's Russian. It's very, very hard to say, but however the Brooklyn announcer said it was perfect. He was knocking down every shot last game, and this spot, not really one that I want to go too crazy on. Obviously, there's one time we've bet Igor over the course of this season, and he made us money as we did the Lindy's Live. Good times. We got to do that again. That was really fun, wasn't it? I thought so. Anyway, we get back to Boston here. We'll say this. Kind of looking at unders on Anthony Simons. I don't know how long this guy is for this basketball team. Maybe they're going to move him at the deadline, but like White and Pritchard have kind of been manning it down. If Simons comes in and gets super hot right from the get-go, awesome. But man, is it tilting to watch him out there play basketball. Sam Hauser not really getting a lot of minutes as well, which he's a knockdown shooter that I thought had a definite place, but this is not yours or my or anybody's Boston Celtics, not the team that we knew pre-Jason Tatum tearing his Achilles. But let's jump over to the next one because this is kind of an important talking point. If you watch ball, if you know ball, this is potentially a nuke spot. Vucevic, you're probably saying, who is that? Is that misspelled? Nikola Vucevic plays for the Bulls. No, my friends. Tristan Vucevic plays for the Washington Wizards, okay? Marvin Bagley is doubtful. He ended up getting the start and playing actually decently well against my Timberwolves. And Alexander Sarr, not Liviosa, it's Livio Sarr. Alex Sarr going to be questionable entering this one. Now, this more than likely doesn't end up a thing. I think it's more than 50-50, considering it was big toe soreness and kind of felt like he was just kind of ducking the Minnesota spot. Like, Alex Sarr has been playing pretty decently well. And again, if he ends up in, nothing's going to matter here. But I don't think Anthony Gill is a guy that they want to necessarily be starting for Washington up against Jakob Poeltl. And they got a big body thotty there in Tristan Vucevic, who can get shit done on a basketball floor. So Tristan Vucevic, if he ends up getting the start for Washington, if you get Sarr and Bagley out, you should be looking at nuking his props because they are going to be too low. This guy, his rates are absurd. And Toronto's going to move the pace. 240.5 total we're looking at for this game. I'm irrationally confident in like a double-double or, again, 23.5 points plus rebounds is kind of like the borderline of where I wouldn't play it. I bet it opens up inside of that. Plus, there are some small ball lineups. Again, AJ Johnson, Anthony Gill, guys that they can rotate in there. But I think Tristan Vucevic is still the guy that gets the majority of the center minutes there, and it could end up being a nuke spot for me. So, wanted to throw it out there. Not somebody we necessarily talked about in Toronto. They are impossible. Colin Murray-Boyles is going to be out for this one, so at least you know you're going to get the Sandro Mamukashvili minutes. Maybe some threes to mine out there, maybe some garbage time. More of a second half live bet based on what the spread would be. So, probably staying away from that. Wow. Didn't know I was going to talk about a Washington player that much, let alone one who hasn't really played this year. New Orleans taking on Dallas under 231.5. Totally in play for me here. Derek Lively. We saw him get the start over Daniel Gafford, which is a little annoying to me, even though Daniel Gafford still gets the majority of the minutes there. But Lively's a little bit more live to get out there, and he is so good defensively that I think Derek Queen might actually be in for a little bit of trouble. Now, I did try to short Derek Queen a little bit. Obviously, this is kind of speaking to profitable in the video ever so slightly this week. Hit both of the football props, and obviously NBA has been pretty flat. And then took an under on Derek Queen. I didn't know if he was going to start. He ends up getting the start and completely smashing against Joker because that's the way the world works this week. But under 231.5. This is definitely a total that I don't love. Brandon Williams, Max Christie. You get Cooper Flagg back in, defensively forward basketball player at the moment. Still developing his offensive game. But Zion back in for New Orleans. While this would normally be a play on other cards, I think we're going to have enough prop exposure, especially in the premium Discord. I'm not trying to force early NBA. NFL week. I knocked my mic off again. Anyway, Joker, triple-double. This is kind of the most ironic part of the entire lean board. I bet Joker triple-double. We got it at minus 105 in the premium Discord. Minus 118 it ended up jumping to like as soon as I bet it. We have enough people in there now that it's just moving immediately. Minus 118. And I was fine with that too. It closed. Well, no, not even closed because we've still got like a full day before it closes. It was like minus 126, minus 128 everywhere when I jumped on this. Minus 145 at FanDuel. I couldn't believe that we were getting nearly 50-50 numbers here on Joker to triple-double. Have you watched him play basketball? I don't know, the last couple years or specifically this year. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and Şengün on the other side, I'm not saying he isn't live for it too. I saw plus 650 to triple-double as his opening number. You best believe I'm paying attention to that because Şengün, he's somebody that I've been high on simply because of my guy Rinpak. Ryan Putnaik, one of the sharpest NBA DFS players that I know, also in the NBA betting streets. And I remember when Şengün came out and he was just like, this guy is going to be baby Jokic. That's what he was calling him 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's insane that he has developed as well as he has, and that Rinpak was dead on with that analysis. Not that surprising because, again, I'm very lucky to know a lot of sharp people. He is definitely one of them. But Jokic triple-double, pay very close attention to this one. I think it could be fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff indeed here with Joker going completely blitzkrieg at an NBA Cup. Oklahoma City taking on Utah. What else do I need to say about this? I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder defy all logic. Cason Wallace back in for this one off the injury report. They still have a guy, Nikola Topic, that when you see him play basketball, just wait. Jalen Williams, still going to be out for another game or two, but very close to returning. And Aaron Wiggins, left adductor strain. Kenrich Williams, they have so many pieces. I mean, Jalen with a Y, Williams, is so good at basketball, and he can barely find time on the floor at the 4 for this Oklahoma City team because Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein at the 4 and 5, obviously you're playing them a bunch. Ousmane Dieng, he's just an absolute freak. Alex Caruso, you barely even need to play him in the regular season until you fire him up in the postseason. Talked about that ad nauseum last year. Obviously, there's nothing really to mine out of it this year. As for the Utah side, Kyle Filipowski, questionable. Probably shores up a couple of minutes for Bryce Sensabaugh. Probably shores up a couple of minutes for Taylor Hendricks, but nothing that really helps from a prop perspective. Kyle Anderson as well, somebody that we saw play against the Lakers a little bit now that he's back, but this is basically Oklahoma City or pass. 16.5 on the road. What a time to be alive. Also, what a time to be alive over at Tails. Be like Lindy, join Tails today before we get ourselves to the like section. Just love you guys to check it out. Go to tails.com, tails.bet, tails/Lindy, tails.bet/Lindy. All of these good things can get you guys some free plays, but also maybe you're the one who wants to give out the plays. Maybe you are great in the pick'em streets and you've got a picket that just click it to tickle it, see pick it, fashion, stuff like that. We'd love to see that. I'd love to amplify you because I'm a huge fan of forward-facing cappers. I'm a huge fan. Again, that's why I take it personal, and I took that personally. Put me on the MJ meme. It is what it is. I work my tail off. Maybe that's why we called it Tails. Be like Lindy, join Tails today, and download the app while you're at it. Let's get to the plays. Woo! Miami taking on Chicago here in this one. And 3 plays that I've got for you here. I talked about it already as well. Jokic triple-double. I ended up going back and changing the graphic because I wasn't going to just throw out filth that's now minus 128 when I got it minus 104, minus 118. That was like the borderline of where you're like cutting it off at minus 125, minus 128, minus 145. Who knows where that's going to be when you hear me? But hopefully you appreciate the half hour of work to go back, erase, delete, add it to the 6th thing of lanes rather than 5 thing of lanes, purely because it's not nearly as good of a play anymore. And I'm able to tell you that. You can hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist if you ever have questions about such things, by the way. But back to the plays we go. Miami taking on Chicago. Bam Adebayo back in our lives here for the Miami Heat. They appreciate that, although it was fun to watch Khalil Ware. Big rebound machine, but now you've got much more limited minutes for him here. But there's some interesting things. Obviously, Terry Rozier probably never going to play basketball again, unless that is in you-know-what league. Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, just saying, both of them at the 4, out, and Tyler Hero still 2 or 3 games away from rejoining the Heat himself. So what does that leave us with? Well, my friends, it leaves us with Jaime Jaquez, who I want to break down because I think this is going to be his coming out party as a starter. He's played so well that I think they just have to. As for Chicago, I'm disappointed that we didn't catch the minus 2.5 there. I did have some sharp people. My guy, Jay Metal K, put him in BetMGM for a parlay with the money line, which I did think was positive EV as well, but I thought 2.5 there at minus 110 looked pretty good. Didn't want to lay the 65 cents on the money line. Well, Wish I laid the 65 cents on the money line. Stuff like that can still work out for you, even though it's not necessarily going to show up on this video all the time, because people lose their minds if I put something minus 200 on this video, even if it should be minus 250. It is what it is. I'll do it more in the MLB streets because I think I've earned your trust over the course of, 5 years of doing this. And in the NBA streets, everybody has an opinion. NFL streets, everybody and their dog and their grandma has an opinion about what you're doing correctly or incorrectly, but I just keep doing me. Jaime Jaquez is going to do him here, but 24.5 points plus assists. I stayed away from the rebounds purely because you're going Bam Adebayo into Khalil Ware, whereas minutes that weren't Khalil Ware were pretty small ball type situations. You end up bringing a number of different guys. It was basically forced into small ball for the duration of the time that you had Bam Adebayo out. Now you're getting a true center basically for 48 minutes, or Khalil Ware has played alongside Bam, so I guess not a true center. They've gone the 4-5 double big combo. Chicago used to do double big. That was fun, right? Nikola Vucevic and Andre Drummond. God, I don't even want to talk about Drummond. But Jaime Jaquez, one of the breakout players of this season already. The assist rate coming up, alongside Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell unders probably look all right. And then Jaime Jaquez Jr., the main reason that I pulled the trigger on this one immediately is I had this closer to 27. So yeah, you get that. Even with 22 cents there above your normal, even money type player there, you're hitting 56% of the time for break even. Well, I got it north of that. So 24.5 points plus assists. Love it. He best be starting. That's for damn sure. And I think he will. I don't know how you do that with Jovic and Wiggins out. Minnesota taking on Phoenix, and it says minus 3.5. You might notice up in your top left corner here. Similar to what I talked about with the Jokic thing, it helps to be in the premium Discord, where it's as soon as I make a play on something, I'm able to post it. I'm able to talk about it. We're able to break it down together. And then if things move, we're able to analyze it from there. This is basically minus 3.5 everywhere right now. I got this at minus 2.5, and that's going to be what shows up in the pick section. But let's talk through the process of this a little bit. Grayson Allen, he is going to be out for this one. You're going to get Booker, Brooks, O'Neal's been starting in these spots. He should have been anyway. Dunn and Mark Williams. That's a more functional 5 than what you were expecting for Phoenix coming into this season. And I like the Royce O'Neal starting piece. Grayson Allen being out, again, it would have slid over. You would have taken dun off the floor, even though his rebounding has been an asset for them. Watch that whole Portland game. Didn't go well for me, but Jaden McDaniels is questionable for this one. We're going to have a very good idea, just like I talked about the other day when we got tons of CLV on Anthony Edwards. 2 points of CLV is a lot for a guy who's up at 26.5, 27.5, closes at 29.5, comes nowhere close because Naz Reid and Julius Randle made everything. So that was a bummer. Stuff like that is going to happen in the NBA streets. But the other thing that happens in the NBA streets is you're able to snipe really good numbers. And there's a lot of different books that you can play at, number of different ways that you can get access to this. Get your Kalshis, get your poly markets, get your rebets, get your flips, get wherever you can get money down. And know you're going to get it back in your pocket. Again, I've never had a problem withdrawing at any of those sites. But Minnesota, 2.5, we're able to jump on here at minus 119. And at a quarter unit, I would play at 3.5. I think you could probably still get close to the half unit here for minus 3. Phoenix is still markedly behind the Minnesota Timberwolves in terms of everything that I like over at Dunks and Threes. You look at specific EPMs of the players. Devin Booker still behind that of Anthony Edwards, as he should be. Minnesota, they're up at 11th. The Phoenix Suns, they're 21st, negative 1.4 adjusted net rating. They still have not played all that good of basketball. And the other portion of this, 28th in adjusted strength of schedule. And that's 28th in offensive strength of schedule and 28th in defensive schedule. It's so weird that everything matched up entirely there. So it goes bright red in my sheet. Then it goes green here for Minnesota. Have this closer to 5. Bet it. Minnesota. And please, Jaden McDaniels play. Although if he doesn't, it's still going to be all right and slightly positive EV if that number goes against you. Won't be as good, but I like my defender, Jaden McDaniels. Portland taking on Golden State to round it all out. Hit that like button. Sorry, I got emo to start off the show because I got your picture coming with you. Some people know. Dear Maria, come here. Portland taking on Golden State, California. Golden State Warriors taking on the Portland Trailblazers and Portland friends. Yeah, Denny Avdia played some really good basketball the other night in come from behind fashion against the Bulls. Bummer for me. But Drew Holiday and Shaedon Sharpe, questionable entering this one. Huge questionable tags, but that doesn't even take into account Robert Williams, who I really like, and the fact that there's nobody on the injury report that we're waiting for on the Golden State side. Steph, off of it. Jimmy Butler, off of it. Draymond Green, off of it. They were always going to be off of it. They played the front end of the back-to-back. I saw a lot of people complaining about Golden State. The fact that, oh my God, they're playing on a back-to-back and nobody's playing. Steph is in his 7th NBA season. Jimmy Butler is, I believe, in his 15th NBA season. And Draymond's in his 13th, which, again, it's weird that he's the youngest of all of them because he's definitely got the most gray hair. It's starting to come in on me, too. We're not going to talk about that. It's too late. But I will say this. Another spread on your hands, friends. Golden State minus 7.5. Just played at standard minus 110, by the way. If it doesn't have the odds next to it, by the way, it's usually just your standard number. But I really like the Golden State side here purely because you get the entire crew back in. You get everybody. It seems as though the Brandon Podziemski stuff was a little bit overblown as far as, oh, I want to be great. I hope every player on your basketball team wants to be great at the NBA level. He's not saying he's better than Steph right now or could be ever. It's that he aspires to be great like him. So whatever. Draymond Green, he's just a sensitive, It's what motivates him. It's part of what makes him great too, even though he's kind of a dipshit. Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe, both questionable. Would like one of them out. Drew Holiday would be the preferable one. Shaedon Sharpe, if he ends up out, just fine by me as well. But lots of ways that this number breaks in our favor with that news, more so than works against us, because be very surprised to see a 6 show up in our lives here when it comes to tip, or 6.5, just a number with a 6 in front of it. Cool, great, grand. 2 spreads for the people and a prop, and obviously a +1 there with the Jokic one. But download the Tails app, friends. Would love for you guys to check it all out as we head to the freaking weekend. And that does it for a week of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Obviously, not my best week by any means, but feel great about the analysis, about the process, about the work we've put in, staying up late for you, waking up early for you on the mornings where there's just no props out night before. Hopefully you appreciate that. And if you don't, well, NFL Lindy's coming to you as well tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Have lots of time to record. Won't be on NBA Live before lock over on the Stochastic YouTube channel from the fantasy perspective. Sorry to everybody involved for that, but my friend Chris Spags will be on with Greg, and that will be good times, must-watch content. Check that out as well. But I will be in the premium Discord all the freaking long day, breaking everything down and obviously sitting in my home base. It's all about that base, no treble. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Friday. Best of luck. Bye.